Hi there, it's Danny here from Little Gems TV again. That's also littlegemsrockshop.co.uk. When people are starting out in crystal healing, there's so many different crystals, literally hundreds. It's always a very daunting prospect where to start. So to try and make it a little bit simpler, I'm going to explain the commonalities between crystals and their colours. So as an example, all blue crystals tend to have a calming effect. The first colour I'm going to start with is red. This is actually quite a reasonably rare colour actually in the crystal kingdom. I've got a couple of examples here with red coral, and in this muggle stone here I've also got some red jasper. So red stones tend to actually be a stone of courage, determination, and a very strong energy. So at one end it's a kind of energy of passion almost. So at one end you've got passion, courage, degree of creativity. At the other end, of course, if you get too much passion, you kind of go into the more negative realms, which is anger. So a very good crystal to use if you actually want to actually inject some passion into your life, if you're feeling low on the energy levels. Stone is often associated with people who have depression tend to sometimes find red stones useful. Obviously would always recommend you go to see a practitioner properly first of all for diagnosis, but if you actually start that journey and you just want some self-help, then red stones tend to be quite a helpful stone for that. In addition to red stones, of course, there's a mixture, a blend of red and white stones, pink. So we've got stones such as rose quartz here, morganite, kunzite. Now these stones actually blend two energies. There's the red, the passion, and as I said, occasionally at the negative end there's anger, but this has been purified by the white stone, which is a very pure stone. A stone of kind of new beginnings quite often is associated with. So that's the white stone blended with the red, making the pink. Now the pink actually, because it's been purified, the red, it actually brings in a different energy. It tends to be a really good stone, the pink stones, for dispelling anger. It's a stone that's often associated with empathetic thinking or feeling. Caring, of course, has traditionally always been associated with, hence you always get the pink of hearts. So the pink, although it's got red energy in it, has a slightly subtle different energy to it. Now I'm going to move on down the colour spectrum to the next colour, which is orange. Now orange is a stone which is associated very much with creativity. It's linked to the sacral chakra, and also as a stone associated with fertility as well. So a very creative stone. Further down the spectrum we've got the yellow stones. This one's citrine, just obviously on the edge between the oranges and the yellows. Yellow stones tend to be associated with the solar plexus rather than the sacral chakra of carnelian. And the solar plexus stones such as carnelian are very much associated with the stomach. And the stomach is often a place where tension and negative emotions can be held. So these are all stones which would help with if you've suffering from burnout, nervous exhaustion, nervous energy. Then these stones such as citrine and any of the other yellow stones such as yellow jasper are really good and helpful stones for that area. The other thing which citrine in particular is used for is for giving you a boost of energy if you're in a time of year where the light level is very low. So people who suffer from SAD, seasonal affective disorder, tend to benefit an awful lot with orange stones such as yellowy orange stones such as citrine, and also further up the colour spectrum, orange or golden calcite, which sits between the yellow and the orange stones. Moving down the colour spectrum, we've got the green stones. Here we've got an example of malachite, which comes from the Congo. We've got the green of a watermelon tourmaline. So we've got some green tourmaline there. Many other cheaper stones such as green aventurine will work just as well. Green is a stone which is associated with a heart chakra. It's a stone which is associated, of course, because of the heart chakra, with feelings. It's a stone which is attributed to good, solid, firm relationships as well. So stones such as emerald are often associated with good relationships. So generally all the green stones have similar properties, all about the heart chakra, all about calming feelings. They're all stones associated with nature, which is sort of general well-being as a stone. Then we move down to, on the colour spectrum, although we're actually moving up on the body, we're moving down to the blue stone, which I've got here as an example. I've got blue lace agate. So these are kind of a mid-blue stones rather than indigo stones. This is actually a stone associated with the throat chakra. All the blue stones of this similar colour are associated with the throat chakra. So it can be stones such as kyanite, blue lace agate, blue aventurine. So communication is quite a key thing with this stone. All the blue stones are associated also as a calming effect, so they're soothing on the mind and the body. They're used sometimes to actually to calm infections. Obviously use all these things in association with your doctor's advice. So that's for light blue stones. Before we go on to the amethyst, I'm going to go to indigo, which is slightly out of order with the rainbow and the spectrum. But I'm going to bring in amethyst as well, because they're very similar stones actually. So the purple stones and the indigo stones, doesn't matter if it's amethyst we're talking about as a purple stone or any other purple stone. Doesn't matter if we're talking about lapis lazuli in the case of this egg, or another dark indigo stone, such as a very dark sodalite. Amethyst is, on all the purple stones, are about imagination. They're associated with spirituality and the knowing of oneself. Now I've picked these both up together because the indigo stones are also about the knowing of oneself as well. Both are associated with meditation as well. But as I understand it, the amethyst is, and the purple stones are more about knowing your inner self, as in your subconscious, and getting to know your feelings. The indigo is slightly more on the spiritual level outside of oneself, but the two cross over a little bit actually. The only colour we've left out here is black. Now there's an awful lot of black stones and they're very popular. Black tourmaline, black onyx, basanite. Black is a stone which is associated with protection and grounding, so actually conjoining your mind with your body. So many times, especially in cases where people have suffered trauma in the past, they can become actually disassociated with some of their bodily feelings and live very much stuck in their minds, and it helps kind of link the two, the black stones. I hope you've enjoyed this short video, and I hope that's enlightened you a little bit on how to use colours in crystals for healing. Thank you.